you guys. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. So you guys, Ryan Edwards purposely, willfully, without being forced, went to the courthouse to file some paperwork. Well, to be quite honest, he probably did not go to the courthouse because I'm sure he's staying away from courthouses, jails at all costs. I'm sure he just hired his attorney to do it, but he is literally trying to get his ex, McKenzie, held in contempt of court. Now, if she was to be held in contempt of court, she could either have to pay fines or spend time in jail. Mind you, Ryan Edwards does not pay child support. He has not paid child support since they separated. And he also demolished their house that McKenzie had to fix on her own without his help financially. Not one dime went into him helping fix that house. So I'm going to break it all down for you guys. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm so glad that Ryan is doing better. The Teen Mom, the next chapter airs tonight. It may actually be on right now. I'll watch it tomorrow more than likely. And I did see some clips of this season and he looks good and healthy. However, like I can tell you guys from the things that he is doing, he is still just as selfish and he's not thinking about his kids. This is just my opinion, my personal opinion, my humble opinion. So we're going to get into it because he did file a motion on January 23rd with the court demanding that a judge hold McKenzie in contempt of court, saying that she sold his belongings. But I'm like, she got 2 kids, she works, and she needs help financially. So I don't blame her. Listen, I would have did it too. I would have did it too. The only thing is, if this has happened, and I'll give you guys what I know in the background. If this has happened, they were instructed not to sell anything, to wait until assets have been split and until the divorce has been had. So the Sun put out an article because the Sun is actually who found this motion. So let's go over this article together. All right. Rebecca says it's not illegal to get rid of ex's things after a full month of waiting for them to come get their belongings. So how does Ryan have a case? Well, that may be the case, but there is a court order right now prohibiting them from doing that. Like because they went to mediation over their divorce and they did not come to an agreement and it was pushed back, the judge set some stipulations in place for things they could and couldn't do. The judge should have set a stipulation in place for Ryan to pay child support. That was a part of the divorce. A part of their divorce was, Ryan's child support being included in that. But when court got pushed back, that also meant child support was pushed back. But McKenzie did file a motion asking for another hearing for child support before soon. And I think it's Monday. So they actually go to court Monday for child support because this girl has been taking care of these 2 kids on her own without his help, and Ryan has a baby on the way. He has, his girlfriend living with him. He's literally filming for MTV. He's a diesel mechanic, so he's bringing in money. Like he has funds. Like why is he not helping? And you guys remember it wasn't too long ago that people was giving McKenzie a lot of hell on social media, saying you don't let him see the kids, like you're trying to keep him from his kids. So she released text messages where she asked him, do you want to get the kids after church? Do you want to take the kids to lunch? Do you want to do this? Hey, can you help with groceries? Do you think you could help with groceries? And he was saying no. So I don't know. I don't know what else she's supposed to do. But let's go over this article really quickly. It's really interesting. Hey, Sharon. So this article says Teen Mom's Ryan Edwards demands ex McKenzie be held in contempt of court for selling his sentimental jet ski and his bang bang. All right. It says Ryan will likely not be divorced when he welcomes his daughter with fiance Amanda Connor in February. Same Panama says, I personally don't like seeing Amanda make fun of her through TikToks. Agree. Let's see. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, just make sure you guys can see it really good. It says Ryan, 36, and Mackenzie, 27, have been involved in a nasty divorce after she filed to end their 6-year marriage in February 2023. So she filed for divorce almost 2 years ago. In court documents exclusively obtained by the Sun, Ryan filed a motion to hold Mackenzie in contempt of court. I'm just like, could you imagine like what he did to her the last like year they were together? A bang bang to the head, threatening to unalive her, a knife to the back, threatening to unalive her. The kids witnessed some of these situations, destroying the house, accusing her publicly of doing things that even if she was or she wasn't doing, like your kids are going to see that. And the reason he was behaving that way was because he was under the influence, 100%, uh, in my opinion. So imagine going through like you putting someone through all of that. You putting someone through all of that. And it's been almost 2 years of them taking care of the kids financially, 100% financially on their own. They go to your parents every other weekend, and you can go there to see them, but not one time have you spent the night with them like you're allowed to do. You wait for them to go to sleep, and then Amanda picks you up, and you go back home, and when they wake up the next day, you go back. Just imagine you're putting your money elsewhere, you're not helping with the kids, and then wanting her to go to jail or to pay fines. And she's already struggling financially, and you want her to pay fines, have to pay fines. Like, this is the woman that financially is responsible for your kids. So if she is suffering financially because she's paying fines, who does that impact? The kids. And you're not helping with the kids. So why would you want to do that? It doesn't make sense to me. Oh, love you too. All right. So it says the January 23rd filing claims the parties are under a court order prohibiting the parties from transferring, assigning, borrowing against, concealing, or in any way dissipating without the consent of the other party or a court order any marital property. So let's see. According to what Ryan's attorney filed on his behalf, it says, listen, they were told they can't do this. They were told they can't sell anything. They were told they can't get rid of, that they can't conceal, that they can't transfer, borrow against. Okay, it says they can't transfer, assign, borrow against, conceal, or in any way dissipating without the consent. Okay, Ryan claims that without his consent, McKenzie, I lost my place, intentionally, willfully, and or maliciously disposed of the following marital property. This includes a plasma cutter. Listen. When I read plasma cutter, I just know my best friend has talked to me about like in her days of like really doing drugs that to make money, she would go and sell her plasma. I also know somebody else that did that. That because they would spend all their money on drugs, so to get more money, they would go sell their plasma, which I thought that's horrible. Like you're giving up like your blood and your plasma and you're an addict. Like, is that a good thing? Like, what about who's on the receiving end of the plasma? Do they spin it and cleanse it somehow? But either way, I'm not saying the only people that sell plasma are people that do that. I'm sure there's a lot of people that do it and they don't. But I was like, plasma cutter, because Ryan used to do drugs really bad. So I thought, was he literally like, was he getting his own plasma? Like, what is going on here? But it's actually a tool. It's a tool. I looked it up because I'm like, what is a plasma cutter? What is he doing? It's a tool, ironically. It is a plasma cutter is a machine that uses a plasma arc to cut through electrically conductive materials like metal. Um, so we may have one of those actually, because my husband has a lot of tools. All right. So this includes a plasma cutter, 2 welders, a jet ski, a toolbox, various tools, car jack, a race car, a motor, a transmission, a lawnmower, a kayak, a generator, a pressure washer, a sectional couch, a hunting bang bang, and more. Wow, that's so crazy. I think you told me this before. Didn't you tell me this before that a lot of the cheer moms will sell their plasma to afford traveling? I know, Vivian. I know she's definitely gonna not like this video, but this is no hate to Ryan or Amanda. It's just like this is how I feel about it. You're literally filing a motion to have your soon to be ex-wife held in contempt when she's the one taking care of your kids. Like, I don't know how anybody would agree to that. I don't know how anybody this woman goes to work every morning, takes the kids to school, daycare, wherever they go. They're 4 and 6, so they're probably both in school. Works as a sales rep in the medical field. She doesn't make a whole bunch of money. She gets off work, goes and gets the kids, takes them home, fixes dinner, does their homework, gets them ready for bed, spends time with them. And she don't have just 2 kids. She also has Hudson as well, that so she has a lot of responsibility. While Ryan is at home with Amanda, recording TikToks, laughing, having a great old time, expecting a new baby. They just got this big old, like 4 or 5 bedroom house. I don't know how big it is. I do remember Amanda doing a video and, Amanda doing a video and someone asking, is it enough rooms for all the kids? And she said, yes, there's enough rooms for all the kids. So this big old house, apparently, I don't know. And I'm like, can you imagine the stress that Mackenzie has been under trying to tend to these kids on her, like by herself? And then, all the public shaming that she has to go through. Like anytime she makes a post on her page, people's going, like, I was looking at her TikTok and she posted a video like in November where she was reading some scriptures from the Bible and her understanding of it and how it's helped her to move forward. And people's like, it's also in the Bible that you're supposed to forgive and forget. Like, oh, you're a hypocrite. Like, what? Like, let this girl, she's not posting anything to do with them. Like, that was just something to be inspirational to others. And people's like going on there, like, bringing them up. She can't do nothing. The girl can't move on. So, I don't know. I just feel like he's over there living his best life. And Mackenzie is the one actively raising those kids. And when the kids are at Jen and Larry's, Ryan's there. He gets to play with them. He gets the perks of being a dad, but not the responsibilities. He gets, to hang out with them while his mom and dad are still there to make sure everything's going good. The food that they eat, that's at Jen and Larry's house more than likely. Financially, he's not like really doing anything for these kids. And she is. And now he's throwing that extra burden. Did you see Amanda even threw shade at Janelle first? Then Janelle, nobody has a relationship. She's just trying to. I didn't see that, which I didn't watch all of her video. So. All right, so let's continue reading. So yeah, I'm sure this will probably upset her, but I'm just a little nobody. She shouldn't even care about my opinion, The court papers continued. Plaintiff made no attempts to discuss the sale, gift, or transfer of these assets with defendant or defendant's counsel. Well, I'm like, heck, if I've messaged you a million times and you're not responding and you don't want to help buy any groceries for the kids or you don't want to take them to lunch, you don't want to, I probably wouldn't reach out either. Ryan then requested permission from the Tennessee judge on the case to sell his 2018 Ford truck, which he relies upon as his primary source of transportation. Oh, let me say this really quickly. This is so off topic, but somebody commented on my video the other day saying that I can't read. I like, why would somebody that can't read get on videos and read articles to us when you can't read? And I'm like, I don't know if that was like a bad day. I have 6 kids, super busy. Sometimes my brain is like muddled. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, yes, when I'm reading. But what if I was dyslexic? I mean, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? What if I had like a reading disability? So if you're watching this person, I don't have, but you should think about that before you comment. And if you would rather just go read the articles yourself, then don't click on my videos. Just go read them. Like, sorry. Like, I do stumble over reading articles from time to time, but this is a live video. It is what it is. I'm not going to go back and edit that out. It's just what it is. But I always read it in a way that everybody can understand it. But that's a rude. Rude. All right. According to the court filing, he claimed the truck has needed numerous costly repairs with additional work that would set him back over $5,000. Right, Leisha? The reality star is requesting permission to use the proceeds from the sale to buy him a new vehicle. Mackenzie did not respond to Ryan's request, but instead filed a motion of hearing for February for her motion for child support. Her motion for child support, this don't even make sense to me. So Mackenzie's motion for child support was paused pending mediation. So back when she filed for a divorce back in February 2023, um, she filed for the divorce. There was no movement on it for like 120 days, so they dismissed it. And then Ryan refiled. But when the refile happened, she went back, filed for child support. Nothing happened. Like, and then it was like, well, you guys are going to go to mediation, so maybe y'all can figure out a mediation. Didn't happen. And the judge still didn't say, you know what, this woman has been taking care of these kids by herself. Ryan's not under a court order to pay child support. So, yes, while the divorce is not going to be tended to today, let's go ahead and let's settle this child support so he can be set up for child support. Like the fact that child support is put on pause for over a year is insane to me. Like the stress that is putting on, the parent, the primary parent that has the children is very unfair. So her motion for child support was paused pending mediation, but they were unable to come to an agreement during their December meeting. Thank you, Panama. McKenzie declined to comment to the U.S. Sun regarding Ryan's claims and court filings. But the person that I talked to, they're like, I don't know if this is the person that I talked to was like, I don't know if this is happening. I've heard nothing of it. But what I do know is Ryan exaggerates bad. Like if McKenzie does one little thing, he turns it into this big thing. Like if McKenzie took a sock out of his drawer, he says she stole all his clothes. So the person that I talked to said they don't know if this has happened, which I can't say I would blame McKenzie for doing it. Like if I'm at my house where we got a kayak, we got a lawnmower, we got all these things, and I'm struggling to buy groceries for sale. You know what I'm saying? But so the source that I talked to said, listen, I don't know for sure if that's happening, but what I do know is Ryan is really bad at exaggerating the things that McKenzie does do. So if she was to like take a sock out of his drawer, he would be like, she stole my clothes. So, I'm not saying that she did or she didn't. I don't know that, but maybe it was something like she sold one thing and once again, I'm not saying that, but it just leads me to believe if he's making a mountain out of a molehill. I don't know. In October, Mackenzie requested child support from Ryan for their children, Jagger 6 and Stella 4, as she claimed he refused to pay. Mackenzie said Ryan is employed and has income from MTV's Teen Mom. So let's see. All right, it says because mother has physical custody of the party's 2 children and father is gainfully employed, the court should order child support to be paid by the father to the mother during the pendency of the case. And at the final hearing, said child support obligation be made permanent, which makes the most sense to me. Set in order, and then at court, where they're handling the divorce, make it a permanent order. Hey, Jenna. Hey. Mackenzie listed her monthly income as $3,000. Y'all, that's nothing to raise 3 kids on. Her good faith estimate of income, this is a good faith estimate of income because when you fill out for child support, when you're filing, like when you're writing out all the information on your child support paperwork, it asks you, what do you think the father makes? It asks you that. It's not like she put it in there on her own accord, like on the back of the paper, like, oh, I believe Ryan makes this much money. It asks you if you know how much they make. It also asks you for their address, who they're employed by. It literally asks for their social security number. So, our good faith estimate of income for Ryan is $18,440 a month. We're not saying this is right, but she was with Ryan when he was a diesel mechanic in the past and when they were filming for the show in the past. So she's probably going based off how much he made back then. I completely feel you there, Miss Maverick. I would too. I mean, honestly, like when my friend was telling me about it, I was like, dang, I need to do that. Like I need to look into that. She claimed Jagger and Stella are with her 365 days out of the year, while they are with Ryan 0 days. McKenzie asked the court to set up current child support and a retroactive child support back to the date of separation. The U.S. Sun previously reported on their unsuccessful mediation, as the parties will likely not be divorced by the time Ryan welcomes his daughter with his fiancee, Amanda Connor, in February. McKenzie wanted a slow transition for Amanda to meet the children, a source previously told The Sun. She wanted Ryan to exercise his parenting rights with their new agreement for 4 months and then slowly introduce the kids to Amanda. But Ryan wanted to have the children meet her immediately. According to The Insider, the children go to his mom, Jen and Larry's house every other weekend, where Ryan is allowed parenting time with them. The judge gives him overnight, but he doesn't do it, the source claims. McKenzie wanted to see how one night supervised with the children would go, but he hasn't participated in even one single overnight visit. The Insider added, they won't be divorced by the time the baby comes in February. If Ryan wanted it to be over, it would be over. Ryan is expecting his first child with fiancee Amanda in February. It's not his first child, but it's their first child. He's also dad to son Bentley with his ex-fiancee Macy Bookout. Divorce drama. Ryan and McKenzie have blamed each other for stalling the divorce proceedings. Ryan requested a judge approve a date for mediation to end his marriage to McKenzie, and a motion to continue filed on November 20th. Ryan claimed that McKenzie hadn't filed the proper information to help move forward with the divorce. Ryan propounded to McKenzie certain interrogatories and requested for production on May 15, 2024. The court ordered Ryan to respond by June 20, 2024. Ryan filed a motion to compel, which is currently pending to be heard on November 25, 2024. Due to McKenzie's failure to provide discovery answers, Ryan is unable to complete the requested documents in his case. The filing also notes how the court ordered the parties to return to mediation. He requested McKenzie file her discovery responses no later than December 2nd, and that the judge schedule mediation in the case instead of a trial. But McKenzie insisted to the U.S. Sun that Ryan has requested that our hearing for divorce be pushed back on 4 separate occasions. He has a child on the way and is reportedly engaged to Amanda. I wish he'd be more willing to close this chapter between us and focus on what lies ahead for himself. According to the divorce case, a hearing to adopt a temporary parenting plan has been postponed by Ryan at least 4 times. In one instance, the proceedings were stalled when Ryan's lawyer withdrew from the case in July 2022 as a new attorney filed to represent the teen mom Next Chapter star. McKenzie filed to end their marriage February 2023 after accusing him of ABUSC. She then filed an order of protection in March 2023. The order asked that Ryan have no contact and stay away from her. McKenzie requested that she be granted temporary custody of the children and for Ryan to pay child support and spousal support. McKenzie sought for Ryan to join a counseling and substance abuse program at the time of the filing. Ryan told The Sun at the time of the abuse claims, I don't speak for her. I never wanted to hurt her. Just tried telling her I would have loved to work on it because I still at the time wanted to. He said, I don't speak for her. I never wanted to hurt her, but you did. The order of protection was dropped July 14, 2023 at a July 14, 2023 court hearing to allow Ryan to speak with their children through her. So Ryan had a court date. McKenzie spoke to his attorney ahead of time and said, listen, it was relayed to me by Ryan's parents that he would like for me to drop this restraining order. So when I have the kids, he can call and talk to them when I have them, because his parents only got the kids every other weekend. So during this time, Ryan could call his parents. This was when he was in jail, rehab, all the halfway house. Those months that he wouldn't get to see the kids, he was calling them. So during all this time, the kids were going to his parents every other weekend. So he was only allowed to speak to the kids every other weekend when they were there. Jen reached out to McKenzie and was like, can you drop the RO so he can talk to the kids more, on a more regular basis, maybe call them every day. And she said, sure, I'll do that. So she didn't have to do that, but she did. She was like, sure, that way he can talk to the kids. So when Ryan went to court that day, July 14, 2023, his lawyer advised the court that Mackenzie wanted to drop the order so Ryan could call and talk to the kids when they were with her. I hope you feel better soon, Brittany. I know my son is sick too. My son is sick. All right. Then the U.S. Sun obtained exclusive photos of Ryan and Mackenzie reuniting in August 2023 outside of his rehab facility. Marcia says, why did he get arrested when he trashed their house? Thank you so much for the super sticker. So, okay. I guess because legally speaking, even though the deed is in her name, they were married. So legally, you can tear up your own stuff. That was what my source told me, that the reason he was never arrested for it was not because they didn't think he did it, not because there wasn't proof that he did it. The paint that he painted graffiti on the walls with was literally on his boots when they showed up the next morning to arrest him at work. It was on the bottom of his boots, on the top of his boots. But because I asked my sources, like, well, why didn't he get arrested? And I was told that because they were married, technically it's community property, I guess, and you can tear up your own stuff. Which is I'm like, wow, that's crazy. All right. Despite spending time together, Ryan and McKenzie, he began dating Amanda after meeting her at rehab in the summer of 2023. McKenzie and Ryan's divorce was dismissed in February 2024 because there were no filings for over 270 days. Ryan then filed a new complaint for divorce March 6, 2024, citing irreconcilable differences. The court documents obtained by the Sun Ryan requested split custody of the children. This threw me for a loop too. When Ryan filed for divorce, he literally requested that he be designated the primary residential parent, and he asked for child support from McKenzie. Not only that, but he also asked that a lien be put against McKenzie's home if she did not pay child support. The home that his kids live in. He literally asked that. See, that's what I'm like. If he can tear stuff up, why the heck she can't sell it? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he literally asked to get custody of the kids, be their domicile primary parent, where they live with him. Imagine this man is like fresh out of the halfway house. He's been out for like 6 months between, going to jail, going to rehab, and then the halfway house. And he's like newly out of all of this, newly sober, and he's requesting for custody of the children and that they live with him. Meanwhile, like, you got McKenzie over here who's never been in no trouble, like her or don't like her, whatever, but she still has never been in any trouble legally. Like, I don't even know how his attorney didn't laugh at that. Well, here's the thing. A lot of attorneys don't even really work for you. They work for the money. They work, like, more than likely, his attorney was like, I can file this. And he's like, yeah, do it. And his attorney's like, haha, that's another $1,500 from him. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure his attorney knew 1,000% this is never going to fly, but he got money from him. So McKenzie never responded to the filing, and the case was consolidated with the original divorce. Ryan has been sober for nearly 2 years, as he has had a year of legal trouble after a relapse. I'm not going to go through all of this. This is just a bunch of everything that he went through 2023 into 2024. Leads us to where we're at today. They're not divorced, but they do have a hearing Monday for child support. So I'm going to keep you guys up to date on that. Also, you guys know David Easton has a court date on February 4th. So we're going to be talking about all the things. Tomorrow, I will have, let me show you guys. If you don't follow this account, I tell you guys all the time, there's some accounts on Instagram that I follow that always comes with a T. All right, so tomorrow I will be live with Teen Mom Reality. I think, yeah, Teen Mom Reality will be live with me tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about Caitlin and Tyler and the adoption, because Caitlin actually said that she wished they would have chose different parents for Carly. You guys know everything that's been going on with that. So tomorrow I'm going to have Team on Reality on with me, and we're going to talk about that. Yes, we'll be live on here tomorrow. Colby says, my grandparents kicked me out when I became pregnant as a teen. No way would they condone like Jen and Larry enables Ryan? Yes. What I couldn't believe was at the time Larry told Macy so cold, like he would pick Ryan over Bentley every time. Yes. Let me see. Probably not. I kind of thought about, but I'll probably read this tomorrow. The article, it says Caitlin Lau says she wishes she had picked a different couple to adopt her bio daughter Carly. So tomorrow, when I have Team on Reality on, I'll read that article and then we'll discuss it. If you guys watch my last 2 streams, I had Pumpkin Shannon's former employees on. While we had some audio issues, it was an interesting live. And then I had Tipper Said What on. That was so fun. Like, I actually love having people on as long as everything goes well. I love having people on. So yeah, you guys, is he sober or California sober? I think so. He was court ordered to do Vivitrol, which is an injection that you take every 3 months, I do believe, and it's maintenance medication to keep you from relapsing. And I think he's still on that, to my knowledge. It makes me wonder if that has any effect. Like, if he's on Vivitrol and then he gets someone pregnant, could Vivitrol like affect if you get someone pregnant while on like a medication like Suboxone, Subutex, Methadone, Vivitrol? Does that have any effect on the baby? I don't know. I am curious about that though. I hope not. But that's where we're at right now, you guys. I am like glad. I'm glad that he's sober, and I'm glad that like him and Amanda have such a great relationship. But I don't like that Amanda throws shade at McKenzie. And I know some people don't like McKenzie because they're like, well, she married him, and it's like she did. And she blamed Macy for some things. But I was told by my source that McKenzie absolutely regrets how she put the blame on Macy. Here's the thing, though. In the background, McKenzie is married to Ryan. So he's got Ryan like complaining about Macy all the time. He's got Ryan coming home saying, "Oh, Macy texts me this, and she's being a this, she's being a that." Not only that, but Jen and Larry were talking crap about Macy to McKenzie. So, McKenzie is on the side to where during the height of Macy and Ryan not really getting along, everybody, Jen and Larry and Ryan, is talking crap about Macy and blaming everything on Macy. So she's married to this man, and these are her in-laws. So she's more believing what they are saying versus what's really happening, But I was told that she does regret that she now completely understands how Macy felt back then. And, I know Macy and I know Macy and Amanda and Ryan and Taylor all get along really good right now. But I do wonder if Bentley would have been 4 or 6 when Ryan got out of rehab this last time, when Ryan got out of the halfway house and came home with this girl that, had all these charges and has the history that Amanda has. You guys, Amanda has a TikTok up where she said where they were doing this little joke thing where Ryan said if you were to print out her charges, it would be thicker than a Webster's dictionary or something like that. And she said, "Hey," she was like, "Hey, I'm getting 36 of those expunged next week." So and she was legit that she was in the process of getting over 30 charges expunged off her record. So I'm like, if Bentley was 4 or 6 years old and Ryan is fresh out of rehab, the halfway house, and he's dating this girl, and Ryan's saying, "I want Bentley to come stay the weekend at my house. I want 50-50 custody, and I don't want to pay child support. I want him here." Like, I guarantee you, she would be like, no. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I feel like one of the reasons that Macy and Ryan can get along so well right now is because Bentley is older. Bentley, he's not 5 years old anymore. To where if Ryan was begging, he's my son, you should let him come to my house with my new girlfriend that does have the history that she has. I guarantee you, Macy would be like, no go, but she's a lot older. Carly says, Elle, can you speak on Janelle dropping the divorce proceedings? To my knowledge, she didn't drop the divorce proceedings. She just dropped the bed and board. And I'll talk about that for what I know. Yes, Ryan is. Let me double check this. Okay, you guys bear with me. I'm reading this to make sure what I know is accurate. Okay, yeah. So she's still going for the divorce. What she is doing, we're talking about Janelle Evans now. She dropped the bed and board because the bed and board is okay. A divorce from bed and board is filed when one party believes the other spouse has committed a marital fault, including abandonment of the family, treating a spouse in such a cruel or barbarous way that it endangers his or her life, or adultery. A person can also file for divorce from bed and board when they fear their estranged spouse will try to remove them from the family home. So that's why she filed that initially, because she was scared that David would try to kick her out of the house, her and the kids. So she wanted to make sure she you know, um, got the house and her and the kids could stay in the house. Well, she had to file for separation. Janelle filed for separation February 16th, 2024. And you can't file for divorce first. You have to file for separation because you have to be separated for a year. So, more than likely, the reason why she's dropping that is because in a couple of weeks, in 17 days, she's going to file the actual divorce. She's going to file for the divorce. And that is when she will probably request the house in the divorce. So I think that's what it is. Yeah, ironically, she doesn't even live in the house anymore. I know it did have mold, but she had hired some cleaners to come in to fix it. Yeah, now Bentley can just drive away. So yeah, it's actually a great topic to talk about when it comes to Amanda. I mean, have you ever heard of someone having 30 charges and having them all expunged? That would worry me about cinema. And I think it would anybody. And I think Amanda understands that too. I would hope that she would understand, like, listen, I'm coming into a relationship where I'm a recovering addict, freshly sober. Look at my history. I didn't have custody of my kid. Look at Ryan's history. He's done some very terrifying things to not just McKenzie, but to Macy too. So I don't know. She has a Ryan that McKenzie did not have at the end, or maybe never had. I don't know. So it would be nice if she would have just kind of stayed out of it, and let them have their beef and be what it was. Because now it's definitely gotten so much worse because of her jumping in and, dressing up as her for Halloween. And I know I'll probably get people that's like, I don't agree with you, Al, and that's completely fine. I'm just thinking about this from Jagger and Stella's point of view. And Ryan and what he has done. And I get it, he's sober now, and that is great. And I wish the best for him. But it doesn't wash away the things that he did done. And the best way you can tell what someone will do in the future is to look at what they've done in the past. It's not maybe it's wrong of me to say the best way, but an idea of how someone may treat you in the future or how they may act in the future is to look at how they've acted in the past. And his past is not very, you know, it wouldn't make me feel secure. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do hope that things will eventually work out. I think as long as everybody stops popping off on social media and they stop, attacking each other, then in due time, I mean, even McKenzie at this point is like, I'm fine with them meeting Amanda. I just want it to be a slow transition because I'm caring about my kids. I want this to be something that's not stressful on them, which they've really met. No, I'm not saying an addict can never escape their past. I have addicts in my family. I'm absolutely not saying that. But you have to be realistic, I think, especially when it comes to your children. When it comes to your children, and if you're putting them in harm's way, I think as a mother and even as fathers, that's your main concern. And that's what you're scared of. You're terrified. I mean, my best friend is like almost 3 years sober, and she is like I have addicts in my family. I have people that, you know, are still in active addiction. And it's sad. It sucks. It doesn't just hurt them, it hurts everyone around them, like Macy, like Mackenzie, like Bentley, like Jagger, like Stella, like Jenna and Larry. So I'm not saying they can never escape their past, but I don't think with a past like that, a mother should just be throwing her kids to these two people within 6 months, a year. It would take a little bit more for me because Ryan has been sober for a year before, and then he unfortunately relapsed. And so is Mackenzie, so is Mace, so is Amanda. Like Amanda had been sober for like a year. So proceed with caution and put your kids first and think about their safety. Um, yeah, I mean, if he quits his maintenance medication, you just don't know. So I absolutely think that, I mean, legally, is everything done? No, he's still on probation. I think Amanda just got on probation, and she literally had to get 36, or she got like 36 charges. So how many does she have? Um, well, she wanted a slow transition, and that's what she asked for. She just said, and maybe this is something that the kids have talked to her about. Maybe they have said like, oh, maybe they're uncomfortable with it. I don't know. But either way, she has to be their voice, and she's not saying no. It's not like Mackenzie saying no. I don't want them to meet her. Literally, in December, was it December or November? December. It was in December when they went to mediation. She said, yeah, that's fine. I just want it to be a slow transition. I don't want to jump right into things. Mind you, Halloween, October, Amanda was dressing up as her for Halloween and posting on social media. So if you dress up as me, like you're picking on what I do for a living, which takes care of my kids, and you're mocking me. If you do that on Halloween, October 31st, by the time I go to court on December 2nd, or it was December 3rd, I'm probably still gonna be a little mad. And I'm gonna be like, no, nope. Because it was a little over a month ago that she was making fun of me and making fun of my job and making fun of the fact that I'm asking for child support on social media that got, I don't even know how many views. I mean, this is literally a little bit over a month that Mackenzie went to court and said, yeah, sure. I don't mind them being introduced to her. I just want it to be a slow transition. So I think she's being more than fair, you know? Yeah, we also learned not to date for a while, especially another addict. They preach in rehab about not having major changes in the first year of getting out, no new relationships, no moving, etc. They want you to focus on sobriety, right? I don't know. I don't think. I think the baby that is being alleged that he had. I don't think it was with Dallas. I think it was like with a one night stand. From that's my understanding of it. So yeah, I don't want anybody to get it twisted to think that I don't think that they could never get to that, but I do think it should be a slow transition, just like Mackenzie should be. Just like Mackenzie said. Where the Miller says, my dad constantly brought every girlfriend in and out, changed them more than he changed underwear. It gets old and you stop getting attached to anyone. Yeah. So, anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Oh, and I was going to say this, and it does come on tonight. Yes, Brandy. I was going to say this. Do I have my notes? Because I don't remember. In the last live, but I forgot. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was looking on Reddit because I do scour Reddit all the time. And the messages that I showed you guys between August and someone else. So I was looking on Reddit and I saw some people saying that they thought that was August talking to me. And someone said, well, that's sad that if he's talking to Elle and Elle said this stays here and then she posted them. Let me tell you something. If that would have been me, first off, he was not talking to me. I was not exchanging conversation at all. I've never had a conversation with August in any form or fashion. But if it would have been me, when people reach out to me or I reach out to people that I cover and they respond, I always say the same thing. And I hold to this. I tell them, I will never release anything you tell me without your permission. And let me tell you something. That's why when I'm talking about Janelle at times, I say things like, oh my goodness, if you guys only knew what I know. Because I know stuff that was told to me by very close sources that then said, you can't say this because she'll know that it was me. So 1,000%, if I tell, first off, I would never say, oh, don't worry, this stays here. Because I know when I'm talking to these people, I want to be able to put this out. I want, like, if they give me information, I know I want to put it out. So I'm not going to write off the cuff and be like, don't worry about it. You can trust me. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to say, and this is exactly what I say, what you tell me, I will not repeat unless you give me permission. And that is what I've done with every single source I've ever had. And there has been some things that, listen, I've been told regarding several people that I'm like, oh, I want to put it out. I want to put it out. So if it would have been me, those messages would have never made it to you guys. Never. If they would have said, don't say anything, I would have never even mentioned that I talked to this person. If they would have said, oh, well, you can put some of this stuff out, but just don't, make sure it doesn't sound like you come from me, or don't put X, Y, and Z out, then that's what I would have done. I have very many sources that they can literally, they know, they can tell me the horrible stuff, and then they can say, but don't say that, and I won't. Because could you imagine if it was me? Just think about it for a second. If I would have reached out to August and he's messaging me, or the girlfriend, it wasn't me with the girlfriend either. If I would have reached out to both of them and we're talking and I'm telling them, oh, don't worry, I'm not gonna say anything. You can trust me. And then I did, August and the girlfriend could come out to say, wow, Elle, like they could tell that it was me, and then nobody would come to me again to give me information. I cannot be trusted. Just like there's a YouTuber that, like, she rats out her sources, so absolutely not. No way. Would never do it. If I would have been talking to the girlfriend or August, those messages would have never been shown. Okay. Exactly. 1,000%. So anyways, you guys, thank you guys. Y'all smash that like button if you don't mind. Yeah, they did. They moved into a new house. I mean, they went from like rehab into like an apartment and then a new house, and they've got engaged. They got a baby on the way, and she got custody of her son. So there's been a lot of changes for them that, they are working on sobriety, and we do want to make sure they don't take on too much, because if they do, then they could relapse. And who is that going to hurt? Everyone. I'm sure it's tricky to gain people's trust and respect the request for not being exposed, especially trying to not divulge. Yes. Yep. Yep. 1,000%. That's like, you guys know what happened to Jace, when Jace ran away because David beat him up. I knew it before, like, I did a video about him going missing, and I didn't know. And then I talked to someone that told me that he had been found and he was in the hospital and David attacked him, and I couldn't say anything. I was told, don't say anything. And I was like, oh my God. So I was literally waiting around for an outlet to break it. That way I'm not saying it, because there was only a certain amount of people, not everybody knew about it and the details that I was given. So anyways, I didn't say anything. Well, it was like the next day that the Ashley broke the story that this happened. So then I finally got on the live and I was like, Jace is safe. He's at the hospital. This is what happened. But so no, I don't care if it's a story that I'm like dying to tell you guys. If I'm told don't say it, I don't say it. So everybody on Reddit, just know it wasn't me. These fell into my lap. It wasn't me. Not to August, not to the girlfriend either. For the sake of the baby, I think we all hope they stay sober. 1,000%. Zips it every time. Everyone hopes they would stay sober. Mac was probably in love and believed Ryan. Reality has her hand now. It's sad for all of them. 1,000%. Oh, 100%. She is definitely, yeah. Anyway, guys, hit that thumbs up button and the way out. On the way out, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Follow me on my other social media platforms as I was wondering why you said that. Kimberly, you may be new here, but girl, don't believe if you just follow her on social media, she's not. Like she leaves her kids home alone. She left them with a baby. She left them with multiple babysitters that she had never met for 3 weeks. Did not call. The house has holes all over the place. She smokes weed with Jace. They have a room that they smoke weed in. The other kids know about it. She lets Kaiser vape. Like, unfortunately, it's not that great, I mean, yeah, she's not with David, so her and David's not calling 911 every other week, and we're not getting reports from her and David fighting. But August had to call the cops on her a couple of months ago because she got drunk and she beat up on him. And he said she is a recovering alcoholic. Well, but she was drinking. She was drunk that night. And where were the kids? At home by themselves. So unfortunately, it seems like, if you just watch her page, sure, it seems like she's doing good. But if you know what we know, and even more so, some of the stuff that I know, I mean, Kaiser got robbed. Kaiser was at a playground by himself in Vegas at 10 years old, a little bit over a block away. And Janelle was at home upstairs in her bedroom. And Kaiser got robbed and roughed up. You know, yes, Kaiser, yes. And a conversation that Janelle had was she would prefer if he smoked weed over vaping because we don't know about these vapes. They haven't even been out long enough to know like the harm that they'll do, and she feels like weed is safer. So she would actually prefer for him to smoke weed, but he don't like weed, which tells you there, you know, why doesn't Nathan care about Kaiser? I don't know. I wish he did. That'd be great if he did. More people need to care about him. But anyways, you guys, we're going on for almost an hour, so leave me your thoughts. What do you guys think about this? I will say, if I was Mackenzie, before I let my kids starve, I'm selling your kayak. I'm selling the four-wheeler. I'm selling the lawnmower. Before she's making $3,000 a month and paying all the bills and has them, you know, 365 days. Well, his parents get them every other weekend for 2 nights. So yep, for sale. Like I don't care. Now, unfortunately, there's a court order, so I don't know if she did do it. I don't know if she may get in some sort of trouble. I'm tending to believe that maybe she sold one thing, or and he's making it out like she got rid of everything. But you guys leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. We'll be back tomorrow. Follow me on TikTok, on Facebook. Follow me everywhere. All the places, and I am trying to grow myself on all my platforms. I want to be at 100K on here and on TikTok in the next few weeks. So do me a favor. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Don't forget, Teen Mom Reality will be on here with me tomorrow, where we're talking about the adoption situation with Kate and Tyler speaking out against Brandon and Teresa. We're going to dive into it all. Yeah, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.